There's a lot going on in the world of transfer, Stuart, that's for sure. Mason Mount, did you think this would happen, Carl? When you first heard of Manchester United are after Mason Mount, did you think, really? Or did you think, yeah, good?
I hear a lot of rubbish spoken about him, I think. I do, because people are so quick to jump on players consistently for a bad year, especially if you're English. Especially if you play for England. I think you're always first to be criticised by our fans anyway. He is a good footballer. And I think if you look at the current market, what players are going for, I think him going to Manchester United is a good move.
Is it a step up?
Yes.
From Chelsea, it's a step up to Manchester United.
For me.
All right.
Hey, for me, listen, all my mates who are big Liverpool fans and my dad's probably thinking, you can't be saying that about Manchester United, but Manchester United is one of the biggest football clubs in the world. Last season, they finished third in the Premier League. Where did Chelsea finish? 12th. So you're talking, even in recent history, just in the league table, they finished above them. Globally, the bigger. Obviously, a new manager going in. That's the only thing for me. I think Richard would have got a lot out of him. But that's the one bit for me where I think of the knowing him as a manager as well, and knowing players that has worked for him, obviously in the Spurs days, that he did really well with the young players coming through and players who've been at the club for a long period of time. He got the best out of them, and for me, that would have been something that I would have liked to have seen him work with him. And I think it is quite an exciting time with him going in as a manager with the quality of players that Chelsea have. And I think that might be a little bit of a loss down the line a little bit. Yeah. Because he understands the club.
But should Chelsea fans be comfortable in the knowledge that they're selling Mount to a rival? They're both going to aim for the same kind of territory in the Premier League.
Who's selling them? Is it the club? Is it the director of football? Is it the manager? I think if you sat all three down in the modern day game, listen, that's why Sam's, because as an owner, who has that final say? It should be the owner. It's his money. But then there'll be a director of football that will have an opinion. There'll be head of recruitment as another opinion, and then probably fourth down the line will be the manager that will have the last opinion, and that might mean a great deal. Yeah. So for me, it could be a loss, and for him, it's a great move. And the price tag, I don't see that being that much of a problem in the modern day game.
Is he an academy player though, Stuart? So should this be viewed as a failure on Chelsea's part?
No, I don't think so. They brought a player out the academy and put him in the first team and got him in the England squad. That is a massive success. If you turn him round and shining a light on the academy and saying this is an unsuccessful journey for one of your players who's come out the academy as a kid, got in the first team and got on the international stage and moved on for 55 million. It's a massive success story for the academy and the staff.
And the system, right. I get it. I think you could argue from that point of view, actually, Carl. From an academy system point of view, fair play. Well done. It works.
It's a 100%. I was at an EFL safeguarding thing yesterday about young players coming through the system at West Brom, and this was one of the topics. And I actually said we have a duty of care with the academies, but fundamentally, an 8-year-old that goes to the system, wins the European Cup, wins the Super Cup, wins the club, and then you send 50 million, and people are going to say it's a failure.
I just think it's a good valuation for Man United. I think it's I wouldn't say cheap, but I would be happy to pay that for him, definitely. Yeah. I think he's been part of this Chelsea underachieving, and he's been part of it, and people have looked at that and said, well, his performances haven't been good. I think Man United could have got a bargain on their hands. I really do.
Do you think there's something though when watching him in the Euros, and he seemed to be the consistent player that played most of the minutes? Now, when you see someone like Gareth who keeps playing him, there's sometimes there's greater depth to this. There's a personality. Mm-hmm. There's almost that glue to the system that you play. Sometimes, and I actually think the one thing that as a manager to look at him, he's very unselfish. He does things that people might not see, but he does things that might help other players.
But there's an argument here, Carl, that Chelsea fans will be fearing, I would have thought, that his best days are still to come at the age he is. Yeah. And they certainly don't want his best days to come in a Manchester United shirt.
No, but that's that. But equally, they would have been the same ones probably having a go with him last season when he wasn't playing well either. True. And sometimes, as a manager, we live in the now, and you can never predict what's going to happen in the future. And you will look at the recent past where he hasn't been great, but that's been nearly every one of the Chelsea players that you can say that about. And for me, his best years are ahead of him. It'd be interesting going to play for a manager, obviously come from Holland where he was at Vitesse. He won Player of the Year at Vitesse the year he was there. He got in the League Team of the Year when he was there as well, over in Holland. So he's obviously a player that the manager would have seen from afar when he played for Vitesse on loan from Chelsea.
Good point.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.